loses a close, tough fight to Terence Crawford. I don't know.
But he's gotten older. He's grown out of the vision.
Who?
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
but
so is Terence Crawford.
You can't make the weight.
But so is Terence Crawford. I picked Terence Crawford because he started 135. Floyd started 130. He turned pro. He's 130 pounds.
I mean, Max really has earned the right to an opinion. And his current opinion is that Terence Crawford is the greatest of all time. Now, I will tell you, Max is a fan. I can relate to this. I got in there and I did the sport, and there are times that there's a credibility that will come along with me for having done the sport. But I'm the same as Max. I'm a fan.
Good Crawford is, you know what I mean? Especially being, 38? Something like that. Yeah, 38. So listen, to do what he done in the manner he did it, moving up 2 weights, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, one of the greatest to do it.
Max Kellerman has fired up the boxing world by breaking down the dream showdown between Floyd Mayweather and Terence Crawford. Points out that Mayweather built his legendary resume with careful opponent selection, keeping his record spotless but often facing criticism for avoiding risks. Crawford, on the other hand, has never shied away from danger, taking on anyone willing to step inside the ring. For Kellerman, that fearless mentality makes Crawford the man with the edge.
It's wild, because if you look at Floyd's resume, it's much deeper than Crawford's. And Floyd was faster and he had a better defense and all that stuff. But Floyd chose when he fought guys, especially once he left lightweight. He wiped out the junior lights, bring them. Lightweight, he jumps up to Jose Luis Castillo first thing. A lot of people think he lost the first fight, then he won the rematch. But once he left lightweight, he was careful about when he fought guys. So even though his resume is deeper with names, people remember, but he didn't want it with certain dudes at certain times. Crawford, we all witnessed, even though the resume is thin in certain ways, he wanted it with everyone the whole time. That makes a difference to people.
Max Kellerman has never shied away from questioning Floyd Mayweather's place as the undisputed pound-for-pound king. He acknowledges Floyd's unmatched skill and technical brilliance, but insists that perfection on paper doesn't automatically make someone the greatest of all time. In his breakdown, Kellerman shifts the spotlight toward Terence Crawford, a fighter who has captured world titles in 4 different divisions. He draws a powerful comparison to Manny Pacquiao, whose legacy was built on moving up in weight, smashing champions, and proving greatness at every level. For Kellerman, Crawford represents that same fearless spirit. He argues that true greatness is not about protecting an undefeated record. It's about chasing challenges, daring to take risks, and conquering the toughest opponents boxing has to offer.
No one has ever been 4-division champion in boxing. Not a real one. Oh, Pacquiao won 8 and Oscar De La Hoya won 11 and this one won 15. No, I'm talking about Ring Magazine champ or lineal champ. You are the champion of that division. Manny Pacquiao was the first dude to really win 4. Floyd gets credit for 4 for beating Canelo, but that wasn't at the junior middleweight limit. I don't count that. I don't count that. Terence Crawford just joined Manny Pacquiao as the only legit 4-division champion in the history of boxing.
Max Kellerman once again delivered a blistering critique of Floyd Mayweather's career, highlighting how the undefeated record came with calculated choices. According to Kellerman, Mayweather often picked opponents past their prime or fighters who posed limited danger, ensuring that the 0 on his resume stayed intact. Early on, Floyd's dazzling defense and slick skills earned him praise, but later his focus shifted toward fights that guaranteed massive paydays rather than true risks. Kellerman argued that this strategy turned Mayweather's record into more of a business plan than a symbol of dominance. For fans craving danger and drama, Floyd's matchmaking left the sense that greatness was carefully protected rather than relentlessly tested.
Floyd was fighting everyone right up until the point where he started to make money. But as much credit as you get for making, the primacy of business, for making business your priority, well, that comes with trade-offs, because when you make business decisions constantly, sometimes your athletic achievements won't be regarded in the same way as if you made athletic achievements your priority. That said, Mayweather has accomplished a tremendous amount athletically. 3 fighters he didn't fight: Antonio Margarito, Manny Pacquiao, when he was obliterating De La Hoya Hatton, and Shane Mosley when he still had some left. And while he will wind up fighting Pacquiao and Mosley, it'll both be, at the right time for Floyd. That said, what about at the right, the right time for Floyd? He's also ancient. Fighter approaching 40, fighting at the level Mayweather is fighting, is unheard of. Mayweather, until recent times, would be considered one of the greatest older fighters. That would be the whole thing. Oh my God, can you believe how old Mayweather is? It's a little bit unfair to Floyd. Say, well, you're picking these guys at the right time. quite cold.
Max Kellerman's bold declaration that Terence Crawford might be the greatest pound-for-pound fighter ever instantly ignited backlash from Mayweather loyalists and traditional boxing purists. Critics claimed Kellerman was rushing to crown Crawford and argued that his career, while impressive, still has chapters left to be written before such comparisons hold weight. But stepping into the debate, former UFC star Chael Sonnen stood firmly in Kellerman's corner. Sonnen stressed that both analysts and fans have every right to make bold proclamations when they genuinely recognize greatness unfolding. To him, Kellerman's take wasn't biased. It was the informed perspective of someone who has tracked boxing's evolution for decades. Ultimately, Sonnen framed it as the essence of combat sports, passionate debates where clashing opinions fuel the never-ending quest to define true greatness.
I mean, Max really has earned the right to an opinion. And his current opinion is that Terence Crawford is the greatest of all time. Now, I will tell you, Max is a fan. I can relate to this. I got in there and I did the sport, and there are times that there's a credibility that will come along with me for having done the sport. But I'm the same as Max. I'm a fan. I stopped off and had a career doing it, but I started as a fan during my time in that career, and now I'm a fan. And Max was a little heavy on Canelo. Now, when I say it was a little heavy, it just surprised me as such an expert, as a guy that knows everything. I mean, Max knows the amateurs. He knows what Usyk did in the Olympic Games and the World Championships and the Golden Gloves before that, and he knows everybody else as well. I was a little surprised, if I'm being fair, at how much he thought Canelo was a great fighter. That part did surprise me. But just because Canelo is beat doesn't mean he's not. It's interesting. Canelo's had some really hard fights, and by the way, he's had a lot of them. There's not usually a time in boxing where a guy can have anything but a zero in his loss column, and the guy can still get over. Not only was that not the case, Canelo was valued just dollar and cents at 10 times more valuable than Crawford. Oh, by the way, Crawford is the only one that showed up with an undefeated record. And I must admit, some of those losses that Canelo had seem like the kind of thing that would really slow a guy down.
Reports of Terence Crawford setting his sights on undisputed glory at middleweight have sparked both excitement and doubt across the boxing world. After conquering Canelo Alvarez, the man hailed as the face of modern boxing, Crawford's legacy already feels bulletproof. That victory destroyed the myth that sheer size and raw strength could overwhelm him, proving once again that skill, IQ, and heart outweigh physical advantages. Many analysts insist Crawford has nothing left to prove, having toppled the sport's most powerful and marketable superstar. Yet, his decision to chase all the belts at 160 pounds reveals a fighter still hungry for greater heights. Should he succeed, Crawford would step into rarefied air, etching his name as a man who never settled but relentlessly pushed boxing's limits.
Anti-climaxing for him to drop back down because you already reached the height. You already slayed the giant. And essentially that's what Terence Crawford has already done. He slayed the giant, okay? Anything else he can do is going to be anti-climaxing. Nobody else he can fight. Canelo Alvarez is 63 wins, 3 losses, 2 draws, 39 wins by way of knockout. Canelo Alvarez is the face, or was the face, for the sport of boxing, right? And you defeated him and outclassed him. Everybody expected you to get knocked out. It was a money grab. It wasn't realistic. And you achieved it, right? There's nothing else you can do but one thing. And as I stated, you can put your crown so high on the pedestal, it's almost impossible to reach. And I stated that becoming undisputed in another glamour division in 2 fights, because it really doesn't matter who Terence Crawford fights at this point in time. There is no name that's going to garner him the traction and attention that he got from fighting Canelo. If he fights Ron Ennis, it's not going to do it. Virgil Ortiz, not going to do it. None of those guys, anybody would put against Canelo Alvarez and say that they would beat Canelo Alvarez. So now he would be expected to beat everybody. Okay? Sebastian Fundora, the Towering Inferno, because of the size difference. He's 6'6", 80-plus inch arm reach, right? Fighting at 154 pounds. That would be attractive.
Crawford's dominant win over Canelo Alvarez was more than just another victory. It was a defining moment that shook boxing to its core. By moving up 2 divisions and dismantling the sport's biggest superstar, Crawford proved that his greatness is not a myth but a reality written in blood, sweat, and brilliance. The scorecards may have tried to keep the fight close, but anyone who witnessed it knew the truth. Crawford controlled the night, round after round. This triumph doesn't just secure his legacy, it raises the bar for every fighter daring to be great. The question now isn't whether Crawford belongs among the all-time greats, it's how high he should be ranked. And if you believe in fearless greatness, make sure to subscribe, like, and share this video to keep the fire of boxing alive.